Oh, yeah. What is up, everybody? We are here for our 1 p.m. show. And guess what, everybody? It's the hottest show of the week, the Wednesday show. The Tuesday show, waivers kind of drive the boat as they have to, right? Everybody's got to get their claims in. It's the most important part of football, honestly, getting the guys on your team, spending the right fab, doing all that. But the Wednesday show, it's just more fun, folks. It truly is. All your questions, whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to talk about trades, you want to talk about waiver ads if you got those going on, you want to talk about lineup stuff, whatever y'all want. Today's the day, as my co-host would say, oh baby.
Oh baby.
Howard, how are we doing today?
Doing real well, man. Doing real well. Putting the finishing touches on the DFS watch list. All that breaking news from yesterday with the Devontae Adams trade, and then Russell Wilson being named taking first team reps, and then the Amari Cooper trade. It just kind of put everything into a little bit of a frenzy. You got some extra articles out. I got some extra videos out, and it kind of put the rest of us behind, especially because you and I are doing the Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio show here all week, and we go from there. I think the question, though, that's on everybody's mind, anybody who watched the show yesterday, and thank you so much for staying tuned in here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitter or Twitch, just kind of click that link, get over to YouTube and hit that like button for us. We would very much appreciate it. But if we had that yesterday, right, we had all that crazy breaking news and all the extra work, and then we did the show, that show like in the afternoon, and then we did the Sirius XM show. Then I did another show on top of that.
You're a maniac, bro.
After that,
I can't believe you did that other one right after.
Right, 4 out of 6 hours of just nonstop broadcasting on Sirius XM, and then the only question that I think, Coop, that everybody wants to know: did you at least get to celebrate some of your anniversary last night after the show?
So here's the thing. Not at all. Not even one bit, because because I'm doing the show in Jim's place for the beginning part of the week, and my wife has to work 2 days a week as a nurse, she literally wasn't even here. Her and Lainey are staying at the in-laws' house. So, I called her. We did a little FaceTime.
Bachelor pad.
It was me and Lufa. I ordered a pizza right after the show, 8:05. Ordered a pizza for tonight and tomorrow. And we're going to do, we just moved the whole thing to Friday. So, you know what? When you're adults, you can do that. Like, she understands. She knows we got stuff going on. She knows that Devontae Adams is on the trade block, right? She knows this stuff can happen. So, we're going to be just fine. You know what I mean? And I appreciate all the shout outs, both here in the chat yesterday and the callers on Sirius XM, dude. People rock, man. Just because, it is kind of lonely around here. Me and Lufa hanging out.
Oh, see, had I known you were all by yourself, I would have door dashed you a little something for your anniversary, right? But no, never mind now.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. But hey, you know what? The beauty is I always got #family right here with my Fantasy Alarm family, dude. So we're never quite alone. As long as you got people out here that want to talk ball with us, we're hanging. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about Thursday night football. We're going to give you a couple underdog plays because we love doing that. We're going to talk about our favorite matchups for this week. We're going to hit on all that. So first things first, though, Howard, did you spend up fab, use any priority on guys yesterday on the wire?
I mean, it's funny. Like, I haven't used any waiver priority, but I did throw a couple of fab bids out there, and I did actually get a couple of guys. Nobody crazy, but I ended up picking up Noah Brown, because I do think you everything that you said the other day made complete sense as far as them genuinely looking for a number 2 target on that offense, and it doesn't look like it's De'Ami Brown. He's a field stretcher. He's a deep bomb kind of a guy, and so you got to have somebody out there who's equally reliable as Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz, like you said. Was it the husk of Zach Ertz, I believe is what you said?
It was the husk of the entire team. Really.
The husk. So, so Noah Brown makes sense. Didn't cost a lot to pick him up, and he's probably going to be in a good spot this week, considering this Commanders-Panthers game is still sitting there with a 51.5 point over under. I also grabbed Andy Dalton in a couple of spots. I've got the pros with Joes with my boy Tim Matthews. I know that you and Mile High Luke are partners there. we bought into the Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco situation. Now Richardson should be back this week, but I can't guarantee that at all. And if I know that Andy Dalton's going to be gunslinging in this matchup against Benjamin St. Just and the worst secondary in the NFL, well, come on, wheels up for the Red Rifle.
I got him ranked pretty high because there's a lot of dicey situations out there. So you're moving guys down just in general off that, which moves guys like that up. Like I'm excited to see Russell Wilson. I want to see, I hope he starts here. I hope we get to see him. But then you start looking at it. It's like, I'm not going to start him the first week back against the Jets, right? It's not like he's walking into a situation with a bunch of great weapons. I just want to see more targets and more quality targets for George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. But it's not a situation where you can start that guy. You got these guys coming off bye. It's like Will Levis has been tough. Tyler Huntley, you can't touch. It's like I basically did my rankings when I did my QB rankings, which are going to be up shortly. Sorry for the delay on those. I got them all done. But I did my top rankings first, and then I jumped to the bottom because it was so easy to say, like, okay, here are the guys I'm not going to even touch, even in super flex leagues. And then I come back and I do the middle. So we're going to get to all of our best plays here as well. And for me off waivers, man, I don't know about you guys in the chat. The thing about Drake May is that in the leagues deep enough to roster a player like that, I actually added him the week before he was going to start. And then in a lot of my leagues where I didn't add him last week, it's not a deep enough format for me to add a player like that. Or I already have somebody. I know, Aaron. But hey, 3 touchdowns mobile upside playing the Jags this week. Not a big deal. Probably going to be awesome again. But
getting the twitches.
But I did go and add some defenses. I think I added the Bengals defense in a couple leagues. I like the spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
I added the Saints defense. I had this one league where you get crushed with negative points. I don't know why we did this, but if your defense, if you lets up like 30 something points, you have and they don't have an interception or a sack or turnover, you actually get hit with negatives, which is so annoying. So I'm going to start the Saints against the Broncos, but kind of boring stuff here. Chat, let us know who you picked up. Let us know what kind of questions you got. Before we get to Thursday Night Football, let's kind of clear the deck on any questions folks have. Rod was in here nice and early, Howard. Crazy good dynasty team. So he's got the wagon, which I love to hear. Needs a wide receiver, RB, and flex. So his options are Hall, Mason, Henry, Kupp, Devontae Adams. He's already got locked in Barkley, Chase, and Jeff. Who's Jeff? Justin Jefferson?
It's got to be Jefferson.
So
imagine running into this team. Imagine playing in a dynasty league and this dude's got Barkley, Chase, and Jefferson, and you're like, he's deciding between Breece Hall, Derrick Henry, Jordan Mason. Cooper. Listen, this is insanity here. Derrick Henry, I don't know how you sit Derrick. I don't think you can ever sit Derrick Henry. I get it, Vita Vea in the middle of that Tampa defensive line, but Derrick Henry's a truck, and you can't sit him. I would probably say Henry and Devontae Adams, as long as Devontae Adams is playing for the Jets on Sunday night.
Right.
I honestly, I don't care about what the matchup is. This is Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams together again for the 90th time, right? You're talking about 7,600 receiving yards, 69 touchdowns between these two. And Rodgers has been painfully lobbying to get Adams in there. So those are the two guys who I'm locking down. Now the question is, does Cooper Kupp play? If he does play, then yeah, I like him in there. Mason in this matchup here against the Chiefs, good run defense, right? Breece Hall, likely to be, fine in this matchup, but it's not a great matchup against the Steelers here. So where are you at with the other guy? Who's the third in this one here for you? Am I wrong?
I think this is Rod. Unfortunately, this is kind of the one where you got to circle back with us. We do the show on Sunday morning, Sirius XM, and then we do another show here on YouTube. I want to see what the health situation is like for Jordan Mason and for Cooper Kupp. And sometimes they kind of tell us, they say hey, he's going to play. He's going to be on a snap count. He's going to play. He's going to be a full go. That's what I would have to wait on that. If all things considered, I feel like Henry and Hall, who are healthy, and then Devontae Adams, who, probably wasn't as hurt as you might think when he wasn't playing for the Raiders anymore.
I
You
mean,
know
did
what I
you
mean?
see him? Did you see? We showed it on the show yesterday. Him like
He was hanging out.
popping in behind
Fine.
Rodgers as the Pat McAfee. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, there's zero chance that I'm worried about this dude's
He's
hamstring.
fine. That's what I'm saying. So it's like hold off, because the thing with Cooper Kupp is they kind of poured cold water on it when they said he's activated. We expect him to be back, but then they weren't. They were like, oh, he's not cleared. So until that gets sorted, we can't really decide. The Dino Fontaine wants to know Hunt or Brian Thomas Jr. this week in full PPR.
For me, it's Hunt. I mean, listen, this is a running back in an Andy Reid system. We saw what he did. He got volume in the last game before the bye week. Now he's had another 2 weeks of practicing with the first team and getting everything going and preparing for this matchup against San Francisco. I get it. Everybody sees the 49ers defense and they're like, oh, no, no, no. But I'm sure that Christian Gonzalez is going to be paying a lot of attention to Brian Thomas Jr. over in London. So, I think it's more of like an Engram Kirk kind of a thing over there. So give me Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, we have to be real careful with the early season sample sizes, because Christian Gonzalez did get beat bad by DK Metcalf, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, maybe
everybody gets beat bad by DK.
That's what I'm saying. So we're like, maybe it's not a problem. But then he was all over Tyreek Hill. We've got clips of him kind of locking down other players. So I don't know. Christian Gonzalez is actually kind of a problem. He's very fast for how big he is. Here we go. Notorious TBG. Sup, guys? Need a defense and a kicker. Drop, and then he's got to drop 2 of Jalen Wright, Roshan, Tolbert, and Dak to make that happen. Hard to say without knowing who your other quarterback is, to be honest. Like, if you have a quarterback that's good to go, already had his bye, somebody locked in, then I have no problem dropping Dak. I mean, he's been fine, but again, quarterback is one of those positions where if you have somebody, just like tight end, if you have, Travis Kelce, who's already had his bye week, you don't have to hold another tight end. So if you have a good quarterback, you don't have to hold 2. So I would say him, and then of the other guys, Jalen Wright, Roshan, or Tolbert, who would you drop to add a kicker and D?
I mean, I'm probably going to drop Roshan, or Jalen Wright, depending on, like, I gotta, what I need to do is I need to see, and here's the good thing, like, you can pick up your defense now, right? Like, I mean, if waivers runs, whatever, you don't want to wait until the later on in the week to pick up your defense. You can wait until the last possible minute to pick up a kicker. So for me, I would look at this and say, who's the easiest drop out of this group? If it is Dak, because you're locked in, like, let's say you've got, Pat Mahomes, right? Now he's off his bye week and you can go through and you're probably going to, start him on the regular. But to me, Roshan Johnson on the bye week in a multi-headed monster in that backfield, I think you can probably go after and grab him again, because I want to see what happens this week with Devon Achan's health, right? Because Jalen Wright could still be, like, Wright is one of those guys who I like to have stashed on the bench, because both Achan and Mostert have health concerns. And if one goes down, Wright gets touches. If both go down, oh, baby.
It's such a good point, dude. It's such a good point, because how much can Roshan's value increase during the bye week? You know what I mean? I guess we have seen Nate Burleson crashed his car and broke his arm protecting a pizza that one time, but like, how often do we
always
get?
Got to protect the pizza, though.
I mean, don't blame him, but I mean, how often does something like that happen? In baseball, it seems to happen all the time. Guys slip it in the shower and stuff, but in football, we don't see it that much. Jerry Nelson, shout out Jerry. What's up, dog? He wants to know May or Richardson this week. Howard, I will defer to you on this.
I mean, if Richardson is playing, I mean, I don't know why we're not using him, right? I mean, I get it. There's plenty of upside that we're seeing with Drake May, and it's a terrible defense for Jacksonville. And I think that everybody's kind of just is in that. And I don't know. It's not so much about drinking the Kool-Aid. It's about what is the game plan going to be for New England against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if the Jaguars are that bad, maybe they don't have to throw a bunch, right? Like, maybe that's, maybe it's like, wheels up for Antonio Gibson. Like, I mean, that's, I look at this matchup here and it doesn't scream to me like that it could pop. Meanwhile, Miami's defense looks terrible. Their pass defense looks terrible. And, you get a mobile QB like Anthony Richardson, who's going to poach touchdowns for himself because he's a more mobile. He's definitely profiles more of a runner than even Drake May does. So
it's Richardson. I have Richardson ranked that way. Howard, after our conversation yesterday, I went and looked it up when I was doing my weekly rankings. The 5 carries for Drake
38.
May, 5 carries for 38 for Drake May. They were all deemed by Pro Football Focus to be scrambles and no designed runs. So that's what I would like to see this week. I've got a checklist of what I want to see this week for Drake May. I'd like to see two designed runs on top of a couple scrambles. If he's not going to have designed runs, then
I'm just trying to keep my mouth shut while you're talking.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that we talked about this, and I said I would look it up, and I did look it up, and it turns out that he only scrambled, right? So there's 3 types of quarterbacks. There's pocket passers, there's mobile quarterbacks, and there's rushing quarterbacks. I need to see designed runs to label him a rushing quarterback, like Jane Daniels and Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson. Right now, he's still just a mobile quarterback, and we don't rank mobile quarterbacks the way we do rushing quarterbacks. So that's my reasonableness take on Drake May. I have him ranked still within the top 20 this week because there's so many bad options out. There's so many bad options, and sometimes you got to go fun. Sometimes you got to go fun. Albert, what's up, dog? And Dunn wants to know Travis Etienne or Dearness Johnson or Zach Charbonnet. Etienne, as far as I know, is week to week with a hamstring. So this actually,
I don't think he's playing even.
This looks like this is as of now a Dearness Johnson or Charbonnet question.
Yeah, and to me, I'll go with Charbonnet.
That's why I have it ranked.
I'm not gonna. Dearness Johnson backing up Tank Bigsby. I mean, how much work is he? Is he genuinely going to get in this matchup? At least you see Charbonnet, because he's a good pass catcher, that you see him more involved in Ryan Grubb's offense. And I think that this Seattle Atlanta game's got some shootout vibes to it, and that's going to put Charbonnet on the field a little bit more for some pass catching. It's not that Kenneth Walker can't catch passes. It's just that they have design packages that include Charbonnet.
Exactly. And when I do my rankings each week and we get down to this range, I ask myself, what happens if the starter gets hurt? Because that's kind of when you're getting to this level, you say that. And what I've seen from Charbonnet was when he started for Kenneth Walker, he scored 2 touchdowns. Dearness Johnson, if Tank Bigsby goes down, I don't know. We don't know what that's going to look like. It might not look like anything. They might have another guy ready to go to take that early work. So
it's not going to be pretty.
Not going to be pretty. So there you go. Luke, what up, dog? Tough loss for Luke and I, man. 1 point loss in the Pros with Joes to Simon from FYF of all people, which he put the screws to me, obviously, on that. But we'll be back. Our team is good. Birdie wants to know.
Tough break, kid. Tough break.
Tough break. We'll rub some dirt on it. 12-man, half PPR. Need 2 for the flex. Got some good players. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Chase Brown, JSN. Is it as easy as I feel it is, Howard?
It is. To me, it's Higgins and Devonta Smith. They're your better players. They're in better, they're in good situations. Devonta Smith going up against the Giants this week. The Bengals are playing the Browns. So,
we did that one yesterday.
If Denzel Ward is going to be, paying some attention to Jamar Chase, who's on the other side watching Higgins, like those are the 2 guys. Like when I look at a situation like this, I get it. You need a proper game script for Chase Brown to be a guy. You need it to be a very competitive game where there's some back and forth to it, or you need the Bengals to be playing from behind in order to really get Chase Brown on the field for more snaps and more touches. And JSN, again, I love him, but they're still utilizing Tyler Lockett plenty in that offense. They're using all 3 of them, but he's still down on that targets list. Give me the number 2 receivers for 2 of the best passing attacks out there right now.
Yep. I will say on Chase Brown, I'm Higgins and Smith for sure. I will say on Chase Brown, I did this week move him once. I have him and Zach Moss back to back, but I have Chase Brown ahead of Zach Moss just because last week we saw Zach Moss fumble and then Chase Brown went in and Zach Moss didn't play again and Chase Brown fumbled, but then they stuck with Chase Brown. I don't know. And the
Zach
metrics
Moss also been dealing with that foot issue.
He's dealing with a foot and Chase Brown is, the metrics have favored him a little bit. So it's still going to be a split. Both guys are going to play, but I got to move Chase Brown ahead at this stage. Herms, thank you for popping in, dude. Law and Order rerun. I mean, dude. Close. It's close, but I would choose us,
Oh.
man. You can watch reruns whenever. Lord Sinclair wants to know whose fire do I stay with, Hunt or Tracy? I hope for fire with Achan. So wants to know where the flames are at.
Hunt for me.
Yeah, I have
Sizzle
Hunt ahead
sizzle.
too. I have Hunt ahead as well.
It's like bacon sizzling on the griddle right now, right? You can hear it popping and snapping. It smells so good. Hello, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, and the Giants, I mean, you can throw on the Eagles. Running, not as easy. And running, obviously, the luxury of the winning team in most cases. All right, flex question. Kelsey at tight end picked up Engram. Flex Engram, Addison, Deontay Johnson, or Tank Bigsby?
Ooh. Well, you tell me about the Patriots' run defense, and I'll talk to you about how much I love Deontay Johnson against this Washington secondary.
It's Deontay Johnson. It's Deontay Johnson. And the thing with Engram is like, Jabril Peppers is out. So he'll still be fine. He'll run into some Kyle Duggar, but Duggar's not been healthy. And Bigsby's gonna be fine too. Both good plays, but Deontay Johnson, when you have a bunch of fine plays, you got to go with the upside play, and it's Deontay. I honestly believe in full PPR I had Deontay ranked as a wide receiver 1 this week. I think I have him wide receiver 12 exactly. Because it's just a great situation for throwing the ball, right?
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah. All right, let's pop over real quick. We will get back and get everything in the chat as much as we can. Thank you guys for popping in. Thanks for the likes for Laney, the anniversary stuff. We're going to get back into the questions. Real quick, though, let's just hit on some stuff on this Thursday game.
Ugh.
I know. Real quick, I said. Real quick.
Game is gross.
Broncos at Saints, 2.5 point spread, 37-point over under. I'm not even going to ask you to pick a winner, Howard, because we're getting 2 rookie quarterbacks going against each other. Patrick Surtain didn't clear concussion protocol, not likely to clear at this stage because the game is tomorrow, which would have been great for Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed if they were playing, but they're not likely to play either. So it's going to be Bub Means and Mason Tipton. Well, here, there's a question for you. Who would you rather start, Bub Means or Mason Tipton?
Well, right now with Olave out, then I think you got to look at Bub Means because he's going to be the guy who's going to, he's going to fill that role, right? Mason Tipton primarily out of the slot. Maybe he moves to the outside a little bit, but overall, I would say that, Means is probably the guy who's going to see, some substantial looks. And we saw him and Radler, really kind of vibe last week. And I think that's, that's worth it for me. I mean, it's so weird. This game opened Saints favored by 3, and now the Saints are a dog by 2.5 now. Like that, I don't know if it's an overreaction to Olave and Shaheed being out. I don't think they're taking into consideration Surtain being out. I'm not really 100% sure. Like I'm getting just weird vibes on this game. I know I wrote up the betting article over at fantasyalarm.com and I took the Saints, but I mean, it would be a no bet for me. I would rather maybe dick around and look at some underdog props.
I think we should skip right through this. Here's what we're the last, on this game. Keep an eye on the Broncos pass catchers to see if there's any trends developing with some of these guys like Devon Vele, Lucas Kroll that played a little more. Keep an eye to see if we see a little Audric Estime. That'll be fun. Juwan Johnson could be a spot start if you're desperate since everyone's hurt. But beyond that, man, I'm just looking to hit some props.
So, I don't even want to do a showdown lineup for this game, right? I mean, it's just going to be gross.
It's kind of showdown. I will say it's kind of fun, but how scraggly it is.
I'm putting Will Lutz in my captain seat.
I'm saying forget about salaries. I'm probably going to leave like $5,000 on the table, starting but Mason Tipton and all these guys. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's jump in. We'll still have the underdog stuff. They don't have our guy up there as of now for Tackle Monster, so we'll hit that tomorrow on the Sirius XM show. If you want to play the Tackle Monster with us, if there is one. We always root for the higher on that. Sometimes it's the lower, which is less fun, but still, if you want to play with us, go over to Underdog, use promo code ALARM. They'll give you a deposit match up to 50% of whatever you deposit up to $1,000. So you can get a deposit match up to $500, which I would have loved when I signed up. I think they gave me like $20 for like a free Best Ball Mania entry, which, hey, they gave me some. They're giving us something.
Back in the day when they were
Back in
offering
my
like,
day,
hey, here's $100.
right?
Now they're like
Not
up to
even.
$1,000 in bonus cash.
Right. It's crazy. So get signed up. You can hit the QR code right. Yeah. And get set up there. They're also doing a free site-wide special pick, which I say it's free. You technically need to hit the number. It's Bo Nix over 0.5 yards. So if he plays it all, it will hit. One time it did not hit. The notorious Aaron Rodgers injury. But besides that, it's pretty much a free one. And I'm pretty sure they gave everybody that one anyway. So anyway, when you're looking at this game, Howard, where are you going with the lines for Underdog Pick'em?
I'm probably just gonna tilt over towards Alvin Kamara. He is expected to play. I know he was dealing with a hand issue, but he's fine and he's gonna play. He's always gonna be dealing with some sort of bump or bruise. I think with Spencer Rattler and the checkdowns, I'm looking at Alvin Kamara in this game as a possibility, especially if the Saints like even start playing from behind. I think the checkdowns to Alvin Kamara are going to be abundant. His receiving yards stat line is 35 and a half. So I'm going to say higher for Alvin Kamara on the receiving yards.
Yeah, and they had his rushing at 71, which I was like, man, that's pretty high for.
And I probably would have said lower on that one, but I figure, we like rooting for fun, right?
Right. And I'll tell you, I got a lot of Kamara out there, RB1, one of my flag plants. And if they're setting his numbers at 100 yards from scrimmage, I like the look of that. So I'm with you, though, on the passing yards. For me, I look at Spencer Rattler. I'm like looking through all these, and I'm like, Spencer Rattler had 21 rushing yards last week. So they looked at that and said, okay, we'll set his number at 20.5. Spencer Rattler is not a good runner. He is slow. He ran a 4.95 40, which is like Tom Brady speed. Like that's like a 5 flat. That's like Jack Doyle would dust this guy. So for me, I look at that and I'm like, in what world is Spencer Rattler going to do that again? I don't think so. So I'm going lower on the rushing yards for Spencer Rattler. Boring, but those lowers, man, that's kind of the way to play it. So that's what we got for you. You got the freebie with Bo Nix, 0.5 yards. Spencer Rattler lower than 20.5 yards. If he runs the ball tomorrow, you'll be screaming, get him. Get him, get him, get him.
Get him.
And Alvin Kamara, 35 and a half receiving yards. So go over to Underdog, use promo code ALARM. They'll match your deposit up to 1,000 bones, 50%, whatever you put on there. Awesome. All right, let's get back to some chat. Let's see what the chat's got popping today. Mark says he keeps winning this league with our advice. Shout out, Mark. Keep rocking them. Hey, we got Smitty starting Drake May, dude. Let's go. Get excited. Get excited.
Good luck, Smitty.
Yes, a fantasy alarm legend in the house, Fatty McFats, needs one. If JT plays, he needs one, which JT sounds like he's playing, but I saw a clip of him personally saying, make sure you have a handcuff. He dropped the Howard Bender line. He was like, make sure you got another plan. These high ankle sprains are tricky. That's straight up what Jonathan Taylor said that himself out of his own mouth. And now we're seeing, Howard, that Trey Sermon they said it was a shoulder at first, and Shane Steichen said he misspoke. It's a knee. So now Trey Sermon.
Tyler Goodson.
It could be Tyler Goodson time because Evan Hull would take maybe a little pass catching work, but Goodson's just a better pass catcher in general. So I'd be keep an eye out for that, Fatty. But if JT does play, Connor, Algier, Vidal, or Davis.
Well, I'm going to go with Connor. Everybody is so down on James Conner after last week. Did he not get game flowed out?
Mm.
And I mean, like to me, again, it's just the overreaction to a bad game just absolutely blows my mind. Now, I get it. The Chargers are a good run defense. But are the Chargers going to blow out the Arizona Cardinals that the Cardinals aren't going to run the football? No. For me, it's James Conner here.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on that. I mean, because he's got the ceiling versus other guys who are part-time players at best. Kamani Vidal, love to have him on a deep bench, but, I mean, you caught one pass for his touchdown. You can't just throw that guy in a lineup all of a sudden.
Right.
Mark wants to know, Singletary plays this week. Do you start Singletary or go Tracy? Or Raheem Mostert?
Oh, I think I would go Tracy in this one here for the pass catching work that he was doing, last week against the Bengals. So if the Eagles take a lead, you're going to see, more checkdowns to Tyrone Tracy. I would probably go with him over Mostert just because, again, you don't know who's getting what kind of a workload here, in this matchup. I guess it's a good matchup against the Colts, but for me, I'd probably want to grab the PPR points here.
Yeah, split backfield in a Tyler Huntley-led offense is no bueno. Rob wants to know if Marv is a no-go, Sutton or Pierce. Marv, you got to let us know. Is that Alec or Damian? Let's assume it's Alec.
It's got to think it's Alec if it's talking wide receivers, and I'll say Sutton.
Sutton, for sure. I have Sutton ranked ahead, absolutely. But if it's Damian Pierce, guess what? It's still Sutton.
It's still Sutton.
Yeah. Are we trusting Ayuk this week? Have to decide between Ayuk, Sutton, and Juju. Let me tell you, Mark, these 49ers, they do this every year, buddy. Guess what it was last year at the same time? Everyone was saying, George Kittle, do I drop him? What's wrong with George Kittle? Guess what? George Kittle finishes a top 5 tight end. And 1 week it's going to be Ayuk, and 1 week it's going to be Debo, and 1 week it's going to be Juwan Jennings, and 1 week it's going to be Kittle. And that's how it goes over there. So guess what? Ayuk in any given week, you drafted these guys knowing that in any given week they can go crazy, in any given week they could be on the back burner. So that's the way it's going to be. And this week, Ayuk, I have to rank Ayuk ahead of those guys because of his upside. He just the week before last, he had 147 yards. Yeah. It was an Ayuk week. Sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah,
get him out there.
I'm Ayuk over Juju.
Yeah, but Juju's not too. He's not too far behind. Yeah, but it's still Ayuk. It's just you gotta. If all things considered, and we expect these guys to get similar targets, we lean into upside. I try to explain that to people all the time when it comes to tight end, where it's like you get this range of guys where we know they're going to get between 3 and 5 targets, and you got one guy that runs a 4.8 and one guy that runs a 4.5. You always lean for the guy that can make more explosive plays, bigger plays. That's why people are always like, why are you ranking Kyle Pitts ahead of, Freiermuth or Jake Ferguson? And I'm like, well, because one guy has multiple 50-yard plays and one guy has one singular 40-yard play ever, So end of rant. 2 Sox games start Tracy.
Wait. You didn't get to Mark's little side question there about trusting that Denver D.
Mark, you said such nice things about me and I almost let you down. Howard got your back this time.
I do trust that Denver D. It's Spencer Rattler. Against, with like makeshift wide receivers here. Like, just because Patrick Surtain is out doesn't mean that this team is not going to be able to get sacks, turnovers, things like that. Like, what do you think Spencer Rattler with no Surtain? Spencer Rattler's going to throw for 303? Nah, come on. Yeah. You gotta take the move here and say it's a shaky rookie quarterback with makeshift wide receivers. This could be turnovers galore.
Exactly, and that Saints offensive line is banged up as well. I mean, like I saw Nick Underhill posted like their starting lineup from the start of the season versus today, and it just crossed a line through everybody they're missing, and there were only 3 guys that didn't have a line. So not good. Tracy or Bigsby? Also, should I start? Well, let's start with the first one. Tracy or Bigsby?
Bigsby.
Yes, agreed. Should I start Christian Watson or Wan'Dale Robinson or Juju?
Ooh. All right. I mean, this is an interesting one here because he's got London and Devontae Smith starting in this one here. Okay. I do like Christian Watson. I wrote him up in the DFS watch list for this week, which that'll be out on Fantasy Alarm a little later today. I think Houston struggles in pass coverage against the wide receiver too. And I think that Watson's in a really good spot so long as he stays healthy. Wan'Dale, if this is a full point PPR, Wan'Dale is going to be the guy who's going to get a boatload of targets there. So it depends on the format. If it's full point PPR, I'm using Wan'Dale. If it's half point PPR standard, I'm probably going to lean towards Watson for the touchdown upside. I love Juju. I do, but I don't know who's getting the touchdowns over there. It's, like Mahomes always spreads it around. I
kid you not. I have these guys all within 4 ranks, and I have them in different orders in every format. In PPR, I have it Wan'Dale, Juju, Watson. In half PPR, I have it Juju, Wan'Dale, Watson, and in standard, I have Watson first, just because the big touchdowns are everything in standard, right? Like a 60. What do you have? Like a 50-yard touchdown last week?
Yeah.
So you got to know the format, but we gave you enough info there. My team is a mess. LOL from Mark. Darnold or Kyler? God.
Oh,
If your
that's a
team's a
tough one. I
mess,
mean, it's tough to
gotta
go
go.
against Darnold. It really is, especially against because Detroit does not have a great secondary, right? But man, the upside of a rushing Kyler Murray against the Chargers definitely tickles my fancy here with a home start.
I have them back to back, 12 and 13, but I have Kyler ahead. And if your team's a mess, you got to go upside. Go Kyler.
Go
Go Kyler.
Kyler.
If Harrison can't go, we already did that one. Oh, wait. Now he's adding Noah
Oh, he
Brown.
throws
It's still,
in Noah Brown in there.
still Sutton, though. Still Sutton.
Still Sutton.
And Dunn wants to know Bucky, Singletary, or Rashad?
I mean, I want to see what the health is and the practice reps for Rashad White, but I'll lean Bucky right now.
I watched that game again. I went back and watched that game, the all 22, and dude, Bucky is awesome. The Sean Tucker stole what should have been like Bucky White celebration game. You know what I mean? Like with Sean Tucker having his couple good games and the couple good plays and the coach coming out and saying he needs more touches. Dude, Bucky's looks so good. Bucky rules. I'm sorry, Bucky Irvin. Sean Tucker, what are you doing? Sean Tucker's a good player. There's no doubt about it. For full PPR, please pick a RB and a flex. Thank you for asking nicely, Josh. Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, Bucky Irving, Christian Kirk, or Devin Singletary. So let's start with the RB. Javonte, Stevenson, Irving, Tracy are the options.
I'll go Bucky Irving here.
Yep, I like Bucky. And then for the flex, you throw Christian Kirk in the mix.
Probably Kirk. I mean, it's either Kirk or Tracy for me. It's one or the other. I'd probably lean Kirk, especially if Singletary plays. If Singletary's out, then it's Tracy.
Mm-hmm. You look at the injuries, and you say like, oh, what kind of injury does this guy have? How is he gonna come back? Stevenson has a foot injury. I hate starting guys off a foot injury.
Yeah,
you never know what it's gonna be and how it can turn quickly. Turf toe and Liz Frank, they just say foot. I'm just like, no, because there's no good foot injuries to have. These heel injuries are bad. So no, Philly D or Baltimore D. As we figured out yesterday, Philly is playing the Giants. Baltimore. I went back to watch that. That was so stupid, dude. I'm telling you, my brain is like so cooked right now. Philly's playing the Giants. Baltimore's playing Tampa Bay. I won't forget that one now.
That was the best, man. That was the best. I'm going to go with the Philly defense here. Ravens defense, it's great. I like the Ravens defense. It's just not what it once was. And if Baker Mayfield's throwing all willy-nilly down the field, like that was the interesting thing. I got a question from somebody who asked me about Baker Mayfield versus CJ Stroud. I'll throw that one over to you because I'm curious as to what you think there. I know that Baker, can sling the rock. And for that reason, in the home start, I'll lean here towards the Philly defense against the potential mistakes and issues that the Giants usually have. But let me ask you this: Baker Mayfield or CJ Stroud? Who do you like?
I have Baker Mayfield ranked 6th, and I had him 5 for a moment. But then I moved Jordan Love ahead. I have CJ Stroud ranked 7th. Baker Mayfield is in a perfect spot here. And I have Godwin and Evans ranked very high as well. I think I have Godwin ranked like 3rd. I mean, he is the wide receiver 1. In full PPR.
Let me text my buddy Dan here and be like, Coop is saying
top 5. I almost put him in because it's like there's that feeling of like top 5. It's like just a different thing. I wanted to find a way to get him in there, but there's too many. You got the mobile QBs, and then I had to get Jordan Love. Jordan Love has been very good. Timbo Slice, I'll hit this one for you. Juju Addison, Moondog, Brian Robinson need to start 2 full PPR. I don't know how you can go away from Darnell Mooney the way he's been playing. Darnell Mooney has been hot to go.
I don't know how you go against Darnell Mooney either. I definitely like him in this matchup against Seattle. They've got good corners, but we've seen that everybody's paying attention to Drake London. Everybody's paying attention to Kyle Pitts, and yet Darnell Mooney finds himself in a lot of one-on-one coverage. So I like that. The second play here, I would say if Brian Robinson is healthy and ready to go, And he didn't practice at all last week. I'm looking for his info here. If Brian Robinson is a full go, then he's my second choice. If he's not a full go, then I'll say Juju.
Yep, exactly. And Jordan Addison's not a bad play either. It's just kind of boring. I sat here and said into this very microphone this offseason, I was like, why would people take Jordan Addison instead of Jalen Waddle when Jalen Waddle has a good QB and Jordan Addison has a bad QB? And look how the turntables do turn, where Jordan Addison now has the good QB and Jalen Waddle has the bad QB. That's fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. Need one in FFPC. Sorry to bring up your Dolphins, Ann. Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Romeo Dubs, or Jerry Jude?
Ooh. I mean, Judy's now going to be that number one guy for the Browns.
For the Browns being the key caveat.
That's the problem. I think I would probably go Romeo Dobbs here.
That's how I have it ranked.
Full point PPR format. Dobbs is going to get the targets.
Dan B2387. Drop Kamani Vidal for Ray Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Gus Edwards will be back, and they'll favor him. Ray Davis is going to be locked in as the backup.
Got to move Ray Davis up when you see him out there looking good, because that's how we got. It's like you got to move the guys that we've seen do it ahead of the mystery box handcuffs. Because there's been too many times where the backup goes in and he just doesn't look good. So we already know if push comes to shove, Ray Davis can be good.
Yeah.
Bucky, White, or Tucker week. Bucky. Yes, sir. Rodney, what are we doing with ETN when healthy?
Put him on the bench.
Bench, yeah.
You don't drop. You put him on the bench.
Running back's too valuable.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams or Tank Bigsby, RB2?
Bigsby.
Tank. Yeah. ETN week to week, they're saying. Not day to day. Would you trade Alvin Kamara for Devon Achane, Tank Dell, and Trey McBride? Well, with 3-for-1s, Nick, you got to keep in mind dropping two guys to waivers. So not just your worst player going to the wire, but your second guy as well.
Yeah.
So I try not to.
I'm leaning against this only because Achane is a risk. Tank Dell, what happens when Nico Collins comes back? And yeah, we love Trey McBride, but right. I'm not trading Alvin Kamara straight up for Trey McBride.
Right. And with Aaron Jones, if Aaron Jones is healthy, why do the Vikings trade for Cam Akers? I'm worried about that hip a little bit. Just a little bit. You think sending Mike Evans and Tank Dell for AJ Brown is a decent move? 10-man league.
I'm okay with that. You're consolidating for an elite wide receiver. I'm okay with that in a 10-teamer, sure.
Yeah. Just make sure you got, with Cooper Kupp going on there, make sure you got at least another viable guy. Because, we don't know for sure what that's going to look like. But we're hopeful. Darnold or Goff? I have Darnold. I way ahead of Goff this week. Goff does not have the best matchup. He's got Minnesota. Minnesota defense has been good.
Yeah. That's what verse each other actually means.
The matchups are killing me this week, dude. The matchups are killing me this week. All right. Moving along, Nino Pena wants to know, would you consider dropping Lazard to pick up Demario Douglas?
I mean, if you're in a full point PPR league, sure. Right, yeah. Because forget about Aaron Rodgers selfishly throwing to Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard and putting, the kibosh on all things Garrett Wilson. But that's okay. Go ahead, make that move, Nino Pena.
Make it a move. Standard, it's got to be Lazard because he's a touchdown factory. Irving or Moss?
Probably Irving here.
Irving, yeah. We got 12-team Superflex. What changes do I make? These ones are always tough. Goff and May. Okay, if your quarterbacks are Cousins, Goff and May, Javonte, Barkley, Rico, Amon-Ra, Dell, Addison, Leggett, Judy, Juju, Kincaid. I mean, I don't know if there's many changes that you can make. I think you've got underperforming players that we like, and you don't want to move them. Like if you had guys that were like outperforming their value that were easy trades, then maybe. I mean, now could be a time to sell Tank Dell while his value is high with Nico out, but I think you just gotta roll with it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like, packaging up like Dell and Javonte for a better running back. right? Or, Dell and Rico for a better running back. I'd prefer you to have a better running back RB2, right? Barkley's there as your top guy. So if you can upgrade that spot, that's where I would do it. And yeah, you've got some strength here. As long as you keep Amon-Ra and Jaden Reed, then I think that anybody else on that in that wide receiver core is worth selling off.
Yep, fully agree. Mark wants to know, I need to drop one of these if Singletary plays this week for a tight end. Corum, Vidal, Tracy, Sutton.
I mean, it's either Corum or Vidal, right? It's probably Corum because
Probably Corum.
Vidal has a role for the time being right now. Corum's still just backing up.
Yes. Jax wants to know, we don't have super chat. We don't. We over here, we don't want anybody skipping the line necessarily. If you get in early and hang out with us, great. If you hit the like and subscribe button, that helps us out for free.
What is super chat? Like, is that like a fast pass
pay,
to your questions?
Yeah, you can pay money to get your thing put to the front or whatever. If you want to get your questions super chatted at any time of the day, then become a Fantasy Alarm member. Hit that QR code that's up above Howard over there, and you can become a member. And we have a Discord where you can directly ask me or any of our guys questions. I've been a little behind on mine because everything crazy going on, but I try to do my best to hit to them. But we have somebody in there, Dan Nalen, in there at all times, basically answering your questions. So if you want to super chat it up, become a member. Everybody else, what we do is we make sure we hit as many questions as we can, usually all of them. We do that by going rapid fire. And guess what? That starts right now, Howard. So stretch out. Are you ready? You stretched?
I am. I was just thinking about, giving my Venmo to Jax. You want to skip the line? I'll give you my email for $50.
Become a Fantasy Alarm member. Don't hand out your cell phone. You get enough text messages during the Sirius XM show. All right, rapid fire. Here we go. Icy wants one name, no analysis. Josh Downs, Brian Thomas, JMO.
Josh Downs.
Bingo. All right, here's a trade question. Jax, you've been officially super chatted. Reed, Hubbard, Laporta for Worthy, Walker, Kittle.
Reed, Hubbard, Laporta, Worthy, Walker, Kittle. I want to be on the receiving the Worthy, Walker, Kittle side.
Absolutely. Chuba could be an expiring asset unless they trade him. That'd be awesome if they do trade him to another team. So yeah, get Kenneth Walker. He's awesome. Kittle has been good. Should I drop Mahomes and Purdy for Cousins or Mayfield?
No.
Timbo.
I mean, you could drop Purdy for Mayfield if you want, but I'm not dropping Mahomes. No.
But actually, if you drop Purdy for Mayfield, I would start Mayfield over Mahomes this week instead of Mahomes versus the 49ers. I would. Absolutely.
Okay.
Timbo wants one wide receiver, one flex. Juju, Addison, Moondog, Brian Robinson, Tyrone Tracy. So one of those wide receivers first?
Yeah, I feel like we answered this already, right? We like Mooney. If Brian Robinson is playing, then we like him and Mooney. If Robinson is not playing or limited, Tyrone Tracy is probably the guy who I would go with if Singletary is out. If Singletary is not out, then I like Juju.
Yep. Boom. Olave or Deontay Johnson rest of season?
I'm going to go with Deontay for right now. He's still getting all that PPR work. So, yeah.
For sure. Olave wasn't that good before, to be honest with you. Tyreek Hill for Amari Cooper.
Not with the rumors of Tua coming back soon.
Yeah, Tyreek is his upside is crazy. It's so easy to forget that last year he was on pace for 2,000 yards before that. It was like a horse collar BS tackle. Bucky or Tyrone? You better call Tyrone.
Bucky.
It's Bucky. I just like singing that song. I have JJ and Mike Evans. Congratulations. Just got Olave for Najee and Worthy.
Okay.
Think that's good. Start Bucky or Chubb?
Bucky or Chubb? I'm going to start Bucky.
Gotta see
what Chubb looks like first.
Yes, gotta see Chubb. I'm excited for Chubb though. I read his Players Tribune article again today just to get fired up, dude. The one about him carrying rocks at his grandmother's house. If you haven't read that, check it out. It's awesome. BTJ, Debo, or Jaden Reed?
I'll go Debo.
Yes. Alexander Madison, Ray Davis, Vidal, or Jalen Wright?
Madison for me this week. I think it's a good matchup for him against the Rams, who give up a lot of rushing yards.
Only show in town. PPR need one RB and a flex. K9, Chuba, Deontay, Mixon. Whoa.
Ooh, wow! Right, I like that. But I'll go Mixon. Damn, I think I'm gonna go Mixon and
Don't you do it.
I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna do K9. I'm gonna go
Yes,
K9
okay,
and
good.
Mixon. Yeah.
Chuba is a borderline RB1.
Chuba is a borderline RB
But
here that, definitely, and so is Deontay. It really is. I think that's that game definitely has the tendency to pop, but K9 and Mixon, you're going to get they're guaranteed
top
touches
5.
here.
They're top 5 backs. I mean, this is how confident they are in the health of Joe Mixon. They turned around and traded Cam Akers to another team.
Exactly.
St. Juice, more like St. Toast. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Kendrick Miller, good stash. We talked about it on yesterday's show, and we think the answer is yes. And I would drop Kenny Gainwell for him because Kendrick Miller, we've never seen him be bad. We've only seen him be hurt. They want him to be healthy. So.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, and I had this conversation with somebody, and I'll be quick about it here. Some running backs you don't handcuff because let's say Saquon Barkley goes down. Do you really think that Kenneth Gainwell is going to get all that work? No, he's definitely not going to. They're going to meter it out to multiple running backs. Some guys you just don't need to handcuff because there's no clear-cut backup to them. And Kenneth Gainwell is not a clear-cut backup who's going to take over as an RB1 if Saquon gets hurt. So Kendrick Miller could be an RB1 if Alvin Kamara gets hurt.
Exactly. Like Kenny Gainwell, you only roster a guy like that if he has standalone value, like an Antonio Gibson, or I honestly, Justice Hill might even fall in that category. If Derrick Henry goes down, is Justice Hill going to be the starting running back for the Ravens? I don't think so. I think they go out and they make some moves.
Yeah.
Rex is in the sauna. Keep it hot. Boy, hot takes.
Sizzle.
Njoku over Pitts this week? Nah, not for me.
Probably not.
Not for me, Schwartz.
He does get a bump with Amari gone, but I'm not ready to commit to that offense yet. I need to see what it looks like first.
I also often need to check and see if I'm playing Dan Schwartz in our league this week because he's in the past has snuck questions in against us, John and Pemba and I. So Schwartz, if you're playing against me, start Njoku. FFPC, otherwise start Pitts. FFPC, start 1. Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, Garendo Gibson, then a flex spot. I mean, I'm starting Mason if he's playing at all. Then second spot would be Worthy or
Worthy.
Yeah, Worthy, big time. Upside. Sean Payton revenge game. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably why this game is scheduled for Thursday night.
Exactly.
That. The graphics are all ready to go.
Four people care about this game Thursday night.
And they're going to honor Drew Brees at halftime. Nice little convenient setup for everybody. Should be a lot of fun. PPR Superflex redraft league. Trade James Cook for Laporta. Tight ends are Mandrews and Henry. I don't know if I even need to do that.
Yeah, I would rather I'd just stick with Mandrews and Henry and keep James Cook. I'd love that. Cook and, yeah. Oh, no.
We were concerned that Jamison Williams would emerge and it would hurt one of Amon-Ra or Laporta. And in different games here, we've seen Amon-Ra have kind of slow games. Laporta has had some bad games. I mean, if Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't get that late touchdown that they basically gave to him,
Not to mention the fact Dobbins is an injury risk. Hunt could be expiring if Isaiah Pacheco makes his way back. So I wouldn't make that move.
Exactly. Lost by, there you go, dude. It is tough losing by 1, especially when it's at the wire. That's the worst. I did beat my buddy this week on Josh Allen kneel downs on Monday night, which is the best feeling. He slid to stop short and then he kneeled down and brought the score back, which was incredible. Judy, Whittington, or Hopkins? That's a question.
I'll probably start Hopkins out of this group. I mean, Judy is fine in a full point PPR format, but I mean, it's Deshaun Watson. Maybe he does well. They just lost Amari Cooper. I'd probably just tilt towards Hopkins in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Hopkins too. Yeah, just go. You got to go upside if everybody's in weird spots. Mark says flag planting Godwin. Yeah, the 3 flag plants: Godwin, wide receiver 1, Kamara, RB1, Freiermuth, new quarterback. We'll see. But I'm sitting here out. I'm like, stop the count. Let's just stop. Let's stop it right now. But that's fantasy. It's like I don't even have Kamara ranked RB1 rest of the season. I would rather have Saquon Barkley, but he's been great so far. Start 2 in PPR, tight end Preems. Moss, Lazard, Antonio Gibson, Michael Wilson, or Juwan Johnson. New dad strength and Olave and Rashid Shaheed out.
I think you can make that move there and use him against Denver. I don't have an issue with that. I think Juwan Johnson would be a fine option there. And then the second one,
Michael Wilson, no Marv, maybe.
yeah, I guess if no Marv Harrison, yeah, Michael Wilson's probably the way to go.
Yeah, start either McConkey or Whittington over Devontae Adams. Nah, I'd start Devontae Adams. Unless, I'd start if it comes down to McConkey or Whittington. McConkey's not been bad. BTJ or Pickens this week. Pickens as the Jets. We got to go real rapid fire here.
Pickens.
Yeah. Okay. Did you say Jack Doyle would smoke him? I got to check Jack Doyle's 40 time, but I think he's faster than Spencer Rattler.
What happened to rapid fire?
Sorry. Isaac Grendo or James Cook?
Cook.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Who to start? Hit that one on the Discord if it's a full team thing. We got to go rapid fire. Denver or the 49ers defense?
I'll take Denver in this one against the Saints.
Here's an easy one. Oh, rest of the season, Caleb or Geno? Caleb is on bye this week.
Geno Smith for me. Dude's throwing 40 times a game.
Stud.
40 times a game.
Trade question, 6-0. Terry McLaurin and B-Rob for Garrett Wilson to H-in as a 6-0 team.
No.
Keep the guys
Keep your Commanders.
Rest of season, I rank these players Freiermuth, Kraft, Likely, and just don't waste a roster spot on Taysom Hill. It's a waste of a roster spot. Would you trade Kyron, Williams, Chuba, and Kyler for Lamar and Gibbs?
Yeah, I guess I guess if you're just looking to consolidate for the rest of the season because Chuba could have some expiring value, then Lamar over Kyler Murray, Kyron over Gibbs, but probably not by as much as Lamar over Kyler. So yeah, I think you can do that.
When you put it that way with Chuba expiring, it's Kyron and Kyler versus Lamar and Gibbs, and I take Lamar and Gibbs. Lamar has been very good. Juju or Jalen Warren?
Juju.
Zay and Bucky for Nico at 5-1. If it's Zay Flower,
I would definitely. If you're getting Nico as a 5-1 team, yes, definitely.
He's awesome. Javonte, he was the wide receiver one before he got hurt. Essentially, trade Javonte and Dell for Ramondre.
No
need. Juju, Tracy, or Leggett.
For this week, Tracy if Singletary's out, Juju if he's not, and rest of season, Tracy if Singletary's going to be banged up, and Juju if he's not.
Yep, Leggett is fine. McConkey or Leggett?
McConkey tonk badonk.
Best fall. Still laughing about that stupid thing from yesterday, the defense thing. I offered Mike Evans. I give up Chubb and J-Mo.
No, I want to see what Chubb looks like, and J-Mo's been solid.
Hunt, Kirk, Shakir, Tracy, PPR.
Just one. Give me Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Foot injuries are a problem. Let's see. Boston Rebels, what's up, dude? Trade Gibbs and Debo and Chase. Wow. Yeah, for Lamb and Jacobs.
No,
don't trade your whole team. You drafted your team for a reason. Mayfield, Love, and May.
Best players too. Which
guy would you drop? And this is a keeper league.
I'm still dropping Drake May.
Shorts. There you go. It's unless it's 2 QB league, like you're not going to.
It's obviously not if he's got 3 names and he's dropping 1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you still keep the other guys instead. Dubs, Downs, or Michael Wilson?
Downs.
Need 1 RB and a flex. RB question first. Chase Brown, Tank, Bucky.
1 RB and 2 flex. All right. So Tank is your RB, and then your flex is Bucky and probably McConkey because Jacoby's still banged up.
Agreed. Is it safe to drop Zamir White? I dropped him in a league.
Sure.
Not necessarily safe, but
depends on what you pick up. If you're picking up some piece of crap wide receiver who might be a dart throw, then no, then I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson startable? Yes, if he's playing.
Yes.
Brad McCoy, Twitch glasses for the Twitch gang. I hope you guys are doing good. Coping with Hutchinson injury. Fields benched. Can I drop him for a streamer QB? Absolutely. And I would drop him for Geno Smith this week.
Yes. Agreed.
Do I trade Zay and Bucky for Nico? Yes, we did that one already. Cash money, Got to drop this one in the chat. Drop this one in the Discord. Start 1 PPR. Najee, Stevenson, Kamani, Chan, Tracy.
Start 1 PPR. Give me Najee.
Yeah, it's Najee. Ty Chandler or Madison this week? Hal, it's tough.
Madison.
Question. Yeah, it's Madison. Half PPR, 2 wide receivers in a flex. Higgins, Addison, Tyreek, Pickens, DeMario.
Well, I mean, if Tua's not playing, then I'm not using Tyreek, and then it's Higgins and Addison for me with Pickens in the flex.
Yep. Get it going. Vikings, D, or Lions or Jets? Vikings, D.
Vikings.
Forever. Vikings, D just had their bye week. Just start them forever. Fair upgrade at RB. Aaron Jones, Josh Downs.
What is a fair upgrade at RB for Aaron Jones and Josh
Downs?
Downs?
A trade? I don't know. Try and get like
Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, go as high as you can. Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs. I think the cheapest guy I would go for is somebody who's like a full-time starter. So I guess maybe like James Conner. Javante or Tony Pollard for that trade. Aaron Jones and Josh Downs for Tony Pollard. That got a nice ring to it. Javante or Goodson at the flex?
Probably Javante for right now.
What are your thoughts on trading Aaron Jones and Josh Allen for JT, Sermon, and Likely?
Aaron Jones and Josh Allen for JT,
yes,
Sermon,
Purdy and Burrow.
and Likely. No, I'm not doing that deal.
Yeah, you should trade a quarterback, though. Maybe not that one, though. Fish Red Rocks or Fish Gorge?
Ooh, Fish Gorge. I don't have to climb the stairs to get to the gorge.
Wow, dude. He's fading the popular Red Rocks. Those stairs are crazy at Red Rocks. I was there in the winter, Howard. I thought I was going to die.
I've been to both, and I'll tell you what, Fish Gorge, definitely.
Slippery boy. That was
Bowers, Ferguson, Hawkinson, in that order. That's right.
Yeah, we cleared
Mahomes.
the deck. This is going to be the last question. Jerry Jeudy worth an ad over Kayshon Boutte?
I think so, yes.
Boom shakalaka. That is it for us. We cleared the deck. Told you we would. We don't need no stinking super chat. You take your super chats and you stuff it. If you want to pay us money to answer questions, that's easy. You absolutely can do that. Right there. Howard's got the promo code. Go to fantasyalarm.com. I believe they forgot to take down that 7-day free trial thing. It's
still going. I checked this morning. It's still going.
I'm not telling them, dude.
I'm not telling them either. Screw it, man. Take it for a free spin. Go ahead.
Take it for a free spin while it's still active. It will come down at some point, I'm sure. But don't tell them, dude. There you go. Maddie says we rock.